Hey everybody, welcome back. You're watching Ken's Cuts. Thanks a lot for stopping in. It's actually Super Bowl Saturday, and in honor of my beloved Eagles, I'm wearing my It's a Philly Thing hoodie today. I talked in my recent videos earlier in January about my year-end sales for 2024 that I fell a little bit short. Well, I never expected January and the beginning of February to take off like it has, with smoking wood customers coming back to me asking for more wood because tomorrow's Super Bowl Sunday. This past Wednesday, at the local convenience store, I ran into a former coworker who's also a customer, and he said, "Hey Ken, I'm actually down to like less than one bundle," and he's got a pretty large offset smoker. It's actually a Char Griller XD, and a couple of my customers have that XD model, so I know what he has. And he said to me, "Hey, I'm looking to cook over Super Bowl weekend, if you can hook me up." I said, "Absolutely." He loves my oak, he loves my pecan, so I told him I would get something together. He passes through my development every day to and from work, and I said, "Definitely get to you. I'll get it put together, and I'll give you a shout when it's ready." Fast forward to yesterday, I'm at work, minding my own business, and I get another ping. I get a text. Another existing customer, actually lives over in Bucks County in Pennsylvania. Jeremy found my ad on Marketplace back in late November, early December, and he's gonna drive about 45 minutes today to come visit me because no one else in my area has seasoned pecan, and he absolutely loves it. And then he also asked for a bundle of oak. So I'm getting a little light on oak, but I'm going to scrape something together. I've got a bunch of white oak over here that I'm going to pick through. Some of it's holding bark, so I'll have to pick through and find the barkless pieces. I told him I'll definitely get something together for him for those. And it's about 8:30 Saturday morning, pre-Super Bowl, and it was a little frosty when I woke up, so I wanted to wait a little bit before I came out here. It's just not too bad right now. So I'm going to get set up here. I'm going to get the shrink wrap out. I'm standing here next to a nice little respectable pile of split up pecan that I have. I've actually got two piles to pick from. This pecan in front of me was cut in June of 24. It is tinderbox dry and ready to go, so I'll most likely start with that pile. But let me get the wrap ready, get this camera turned around, and we'll get going because Jeremy's going to be here within the hour, and I need to get his 3 bundles done first. Then I'll put together Joe's bundles. And then one of my subscribers, Mike Maloney, has an electric smoker. And he just found out last night that I also have pecan. And he asked for some pecan slivers, little pieces, scraps, whatnot. And off camera, I've actually got some crates of pecan chunks that I had put together. So I'm going to grab one of those crates and run some of it through the AXIS. Cut it pretty thin. He wants like 1/2-inch slivers that he can lay in the electric smoker. And he likes fruit wood. He likes the apple, the pear, the cherry, etc. And he's dying to try this pecan. So let me get things turned around here and I'll get right back to you. All right, guys, so this is the tinderbox pecan that I was talking about. With pecan wood, it can hold bark. You can cook with pecan bark. So I'm not worried about the bark on the pecan. Jerry's not worried about it either. But when he saw my Marketplace ad and saw that I had pecan in the mix, he was like, "How in the heck do you get pecan?" And even Mike Maloney, when he was inquiring last night when I told him I was making up pecan bundles today, he's like, "Pecan's a southern tree." I said, "Well, there's a northern variety." And I didn't believe my tree service when he told me he was taking down pecan. And then he sent me a picture of the pecan shells in his hand that were laying on the ground. And the tree was a detriment to the home, so the homeowner wanted it down. And of course, the tree service will do whatever is asked. Obviously, they hate taking down nut-bearing trees, fruit trees, but when it's a detriment to the house, you know, it could be an insurance liability, I suppose. So that's why John took it down. And I've got off camera here a full pallet, a 4-foot by 4-foot pallet of larger pecan cuts that, if you guys aren't aware, pecan burns super hot. It's very vocal. It does crack and pop a lot. But the BTUs from pecan, I believe, are 28 million BTUs per cord. So that stuff burns hotter than oak. Smokes beautifully. It's got a nice mild smoke profile. And I'm sure Jeremy's got something in mind for a cook tomorrow or tonight, or an overnight cook. A couple splits just fell off beside the camera there. Not sure what's going on. But as I was saying, I want to get these pecan splits together first, and then we'll go pick through the white oak pile. It's actually a touch long. I try and keep the bundles as uniform looking and neat as I possibly can. And most of my stuff is at that smoking bundle length, which I always talk about. And these are obviously shorter than a standard firewood log. But if the splits get too long and you lay them in on a bed of charcoal, if the bed of charcoal is, say, 1 foot in diameter, and you lay the splits in and they're hanging off the end, the centers burn up, and then you're left with a bunch of little chunky pieces. And I mean, the guys will deal with it, but I'd much rather have my normal 14-inch smoker length, knowing that it's going to, you know, cook up nice over the charcoal pile. So I messaged Jeremy and said I would be ready by 10 o'clock, and then that was yesterday. And this morning I told him, hey, head over. I'm going to get out here because we've got some crazy winter weather rolling in later today. And I'm sure he doesn't want to be on the road when that stuff hits. So these bundles are 12 by 12, 14-inch tall. And at 14 inches tall and 12 by 12, it's 1.2 cubic feet. I did a short earlier this week talking about green mulberry. If you didn't see that one, go check that short out. I was polling the audience, asking you guys to guess the weight of a green bundle of mulberry. Fresh split, holding some moisture, obviously. It was cut in the fall, but it was laying here in the round on split. And Harry, who's my largest commercial barbecue customer, wanted to try some. And I put that bundle together, and I could not believe the weight of that bundle. My cherry and maple bundles are 30, 35 pounds a piece. Hickory's low 40s per bundle, 40 pounds-ish, 41 pounds per bundle. And the mulberry, ridiculously heavy. This pecan is even very dense. I'm going to find another short one, thin piece to put on the top here. And we'll get this one wrapped up. Here's two skinnies to top off the stack. And then we peel the gloves so we can peel the shrink wrap. This is a 10-inch wrap that I use. And I've got literally about 10.5 inches between my uprights. So this stuff fits perfectly. Thank you again to Brad over at Firewood at the Furnace. This was his design. And for the small quantities of smoker bundles that I do, I can't justify an Amish bundler or anything else like that. I do not do bags for smoker wood. I want the guys to see the bundles. And the rest of my wood all goes out in fractional cord increments for fire pit, heating, etc. So I really don't have a use for bags. I don't have a stand. My HOA wouldn't allow me to have a stand at my driveway. nor would my wife want to have a stand at the foot of the driveway. So we use Facebook Marketplace and local for sale pages, and that's basically how we gain our customers. There's a pecan bundle. That's respectable. It's probably about 38 pounds of pecan right there. I'll set this down off camera. I'm going to put you in time lapse, guys, and we're going to make 2 more. Stick around. Alright guys, so I only did a time lapse with that 1 bundle of pecan. I was going to time lapse this white oak, but I actually wanted to talk about this white oak because I was telling my customers that I was getting very light on oak, thinking that I only had red. And fortunately behind me, over my shoulder, was a stack of white oak. Some of it is holding bark. As you can see, it's this pile right over here, off to the left of the camera. And I was pleasantly surprised when I went and checked, because I mark all of my stacks. In this case, I used a piece of scrap wood, piece of bark, and I marked it white oak, August 24. This stuff's been open 5 months, and it's small, and it's barkless, and it's ready to go. That's the reason that I do everything small, because it dries out much quicker. Everybody knows oak could take a year for a normal firewood split to dry out. But this white oak is tinderbox dry, August of 24. So we're going on our 6th month. But I just want to show you guys that this stuff is freaking dry. So I am happy to say that I now have white oak, which is awesome for smoking. Some guys that ask for oak actually prefer the white. They say that the white oak is the king of the oaks for smoking purposes. So when Jeremy gets here, I told him I was going to have to scrape something together. But as I always say, I've got a microbrewery of a lot of different stuff here. And I started looking around this morning, quasi-nervous, because my red oak pile is dwindling. And I found this white oak. And Jeremy's going to be thrilled when he gets here. He should be here shortly. I'm going to ask him if he wants to talk for a moment or two on the camera and see what he has to say, as long as he's not camera shy. But this stuff is primo, guys. White oak, barkless, and Jeremy does overnight cooks, brisket cooks, and loves the pecan and white oak blend. So I'm dying to know what he's going to cook tomorrow. I'm actually going to have to reach back in here and get a few more. This one's holding bark, which I don't know that I can get off. I don't like to send bark out on oak. Let me run around to the other side of the camera here. There's some down in here that I can see. This maple wasn't in my way. There we go. Need about half a dozen more. Fill out the bundle. There's 2. A couple skinny ones. I like to put a blend of sizes in, guys, because if the customers are wrapping up a cook and they just need that one more small piece to finish off, to get pulled pork out of a stall or brisket out of a stall, they can add a little tiny piece just to finish it off. The pecan burns really hot, as I told you earlier. The white oak is about 24 million BTUs per cord. So in the smokers, they choke off the air and it just sits there and smolders and smokes, and that's the whole idea behind having dry hardwood for smokers. This should do it. Nice little blend of sizes just to finish off the stack here. Doing these bundles is like playing Jenga, reverse Jenga, building the stack. This one's got a nub on it, that's not going to work well. This one's got some fuzz hanging on the side. I think I got this one just about nailed, guys. Keep everything flush to one side. We'll get her wrapped up, and Jeremy's bundles will be ready. And then I can start off camera with Joe's. He's my former co-worker. Joe's looking for 2 oak, hickory, and cherry. So that's another 4 bundles. And with the cold temperatures and the shrink wrap, I tell the customers, when you grab these bundles, use 2 hands. I don't put nylon handles on anything. Some of the guys out there put nylon handles with a nail gun. And I just can't see myself doing that. But I've actually seen customers do porch pickups and grab bundles while I'm at work. And they literally reach in and they grab the plastic wrap with a couple fingers and they pick them up. And I'm like, oh, that plastic wrap is brittle on a really cold morning. I don't want to see the bundle collapse and explode all over the driveway. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to cut it off at this one. And this last bundle, I don't want to bore you guys. But thanks a lot for sticking to the end. Again, it's the Saturday before Super Bowl, so go Birds. And as I always say, you can make big fires out of small wood, but you can't make small fires out of big wood. And in the case of my smoking wood customers, they need small wood. So until next Sunday, guys, have a great week, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.